Topic is mechanism of breathing. As I had told you that it takes place in 3 steps, and these 3 steps are breathing, exchange of gases, and the transport of gases. Here in this lesson I will focus on breathing. The next two I will discuss in the next lesson. So let us move ahead, and so to study about breathing we first know about what are the internal intercostal muscles and the external intercostal muscles. So these muscles are present in between your ribs. Okay, see this is your rib cage. In between the ribs we have muscles which helps in breathing, and these muscles are internal and external intercostal. So the inner one are known as internal intercostal, and the outer one, that is the outer side, they are known as the external intercostal muscles. So see this picture. Here you can easily see both these types of muscles, and you will see how these muscles help in breathing. So in the breathing we know that inhalation and exhalation takes place. Inhalation means the inhaling of the air, and exhalation means the removal of the air out from the lungs. So during inhalation, also known as inspiration, and exhalation also known as expiration. So during inhalation, what are all the changes takes place in your thoracic cavity? That we will see here. So here the internal intercostal muscles relaxed and the external ones contract, right? Internal relax and this one, that is external one, contracts. And the rib cage, as you inhale, the rib cage moves outward, or we can say upward, right? The rib cage, as and when you inhale the air, it moves outward, and the diaphragm becomes flattens and it contracts, right? You can see here also it becomes contracts and gets flattens. And at the same time the volume of the thorax cavity increases, but the pressure in the alveoli decreases. Okay, so here the pressure in the alveoli is decreasing. So what will happen? As the pressure is decreases, so air from the outside where the pressure is high, the air rushes in. Okay, so that's why the inhalation takes place in this way. Pressure in the alveoli decreases, because of which the air rushes in your alveoli. Air moves in this case, right? So let us recap again. Here the internal intercostal muscles relaxed and the external ones contract. Rib cage moves outward and upward. Diaphragm contracts and becomes flattens. Your volume of thorax cavity increases and the pressure in the alveoli decreases, because of which the air rushes in your lungs. Let's discuss about what happens in exhalation. Here in exhalation the opposite takes place, means internal intercostal muscles here in the inhalation are relaxing, but during exhalation they contract, and external ones relaxed. So here the functional is the internal intercostal muscles, and in inhalation the external intercostal muscles are functioning. And during exhalation, means removing the air out, your rib cage moves downward and inward. It moves inward, and your diaphragm relaxes. As you exhale the air, your diaphragm relaxes, and it comes in dome shape. It makes a dome shape. And here the volume of your thorax cavity decreases, because this rib cage is moving downward. So what will happen? Your thorax cavity volume decreases as soon as the pressure in the alveoli increases. So here the pressure is increasing in the alveoli. So the high pressure, from this high pressure the air moves towards the low pressure, which is outside. Okay, so in this way the air moves out of your lungs. Right guys, so this process I hope is clear. Let's move ahead. So here we will discuss about respiratory volumes and capacities. So what does this word means, that is respiratory volumes? It is the quantity of air the lungs can receive, hold or expel during different conditions, right? What it is? It is the quantity of air your lungs can receive, hold or expel. So here we will study different volumes. So let's start. First is your tidal volume. Your tidal volume is the volume which you normally inhale or exhale. Means it is general but normal inhalation and exhalation. So let's see how much you inhale, how much air you normally inhale, and it comes to be around 500 ml. This is the normal air. This is the air which you normally inhale, right? While you are sitting, while you are at rest, you normally inhale this much of air. And from this 500 ml, around 350 ml reaches your alveoli. Okay, so in your alveoli, only the 350 ml is reaching. The remaining one, which is around 150 ml, it remains in your tract. And what does this tract? This is a pathway which contains your primary, tertiary and secondary bronchi. So this much of air remains in your tract, and this air is which remains in the tract is known as the dead space volume. Right? So this is your tidal volume, normal inhalation and normal exhalation. So remember this value, which is around 500 ml. Then comes to your inspiratory reserve volume. This gives you the air or volume which you forcefully inhale. You know that you are normally inhaling around 500. Now beyond this value, how much more you can inhale? Okay, so that comes to be around 2000 to 3000 ml. This is forceful inhalation, right? And this is forceful exhalation. Expiratory reserve volume is the forceful exhalation. Normally you are exhaling 500 ml, and beyond this 500 ml, how much more you can exhale? And this comes to be around 1000 to 1500. And if you calculate the average, it is around 1100 ml. So these 3 points are clear to you, I think so. Tidal volume, normal inhalation and exhalation. This is forceful inhalation and this is forceful exhalation. Next is the inspiratory capacity, and it is the total volume of air a person can inspire after a normal expiration. Okay, so in a normal expiration you are exhaling 500 ml. So it includes the tidal volume and the inspiratory reserve volume. Tidal volume is TV and IRV is the inspiratory reserve volume. So if we add this value, we get the inspiratory capacity. In a simple way, we can say that how much is the capacity of your lungs in inhaling? How much air you can inhale? So that is your tidal volume and the inspiratory reserve volume. This much only you can inhale. So it comes out to be, your tidal volume is 500 and inspiratory reserve volume we take it 2000 to 3000 ml, and if you calculate it, it comes to be 2500 to 3500 ml of volume. So your inspiratory capacity is 2500 to 3500. Next is your vital capacity. Vital capacity is forceful exhalation after the forceful inhalation. So is it clear? So it is the volume of air which is a person can breathe forcefully after a forceful expiration. So it includes your forceful inhalation. You know that in your forceful inhalation we have this tidal volume and inspiratory reserve volume, and the forceful exhalation is the ERV. So the total of TV, that is tidal volume plus inspiratory reserve volume and the expiratory reserve volume, gives you the vital capacity, which you calculate, it comes to be around 4500 ml. Okay, right? It is the forceful exhalation after the forceful inhalation, and we know that the forceful inhalation have the value of TV as well as of IRV, and we have to add this value also because it is forceful exhalation also. So this value, that is around 1100 ml, is your expiratory reserve volume. If you calculate and add these up, you will get the vital capacity. Next is your residual volume. Residue means the thing which is remaining. Okay, so if you exhale the air, okay, after forceful exhalation, some air is still left in your lungs. Your lungs are never empty. So the air which is left in your lungs, it is around 1500 ml. And this remaining air is known as the residual volume. Then your functional residual volume. So this FRV, it is the volume of the air that will remain in the lungs after a normal expiration. right? It is the volume of air that will remain in the lungs after the normal expiration. So after the normal expiration, we have this value also, ERV is there in your lungs, because we are normally exhaling. So this is the sum of residual volume which is already in your remains in your lungs, and this ERV, which is the expiratory reserve volume, is also there. So on adding these two value, we get the functional residual volume, that is RV plus ERV equals to 2500 ml of air. Now let's next about the total lung capacity. So it is the total volume of the air present in the lungs. It includes vital capacity, as we know that vital capacity includes tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume and expiratory reserve volume. So it includes vital capacity as well as the residual volume which is remains always there in your lungs. So it is the sum of vital capacity plus the residual volume, and it comes out to be 6000 ml. Two more we will study, that is the minute respiratory volume and the alveolar ventilation. Minute respiratory volume gives you how much volume of air reaches your lungs in a minute. We know that normally we inhale 500 ml and we know that we breathe around 12 times in a minute. So if we calculate, if we multiply this value, that is 12 to 500, we get that around 6000 ml of volume of air reaches to your lungs in a minute, right? But as I told you, around 350 ml of air reaches your alveoli. The rest remaining one remains in your tract, which is considered as a dead space volume. So we have to calculate the alveolar ventilation which reaches to your lung. Which reaches to your alveoli. So if we multiply 12, that is we breathe 12 times, and if we calculate it, it comes to be around 4200 ml of air. So alveolar ventilation volume is around 4200 ml. So here is a graph which will depict all these values. Here these all are the abbreviations: tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, inspiratory capacity, expiratory reserve volume, residual volume, functional residual capacity, vital capacity and total lung capacity. So this line, which is the middle one line, it shows you your vital capacity, tidal volume. So this is your tidal volume, and beyond this, if you inhale, gives you the inspiratory reserve volume, and this one ERV is your expiratory reserve volume. So vital capacity, as I told you, is the sum of your IRV, tidal volume as well as the ERV. This volume which is always remains in your lungs, that is known as the residual volume. And total lung capacity, as I have told you, it is the sum of all these volume. So here if you add all this volume, that is the vital capacity and the residual volume, you will get total lung capacity. Functional residual capacity is the sum of expiratory reserve volume and the reserve volume. So this will gives you the this area gives you the value of functional residual capacity. So okay guys, this topic is over now.